Fantastic Four First Steps, the newest MCU movie, now out. Let's talk about it. So I have just seen Fantastic Four at the theater. It is now out for you guys to go and check out, and we have been waiting for this movie. Well, I have been. This was one of my most anticipated films of the year. Look, I'm a huge Doctor Doom fan, so I like the Fantastic Four. We have not had a great Fantastic Four movie. We've had a decent one, and then some that aren't so great. So this was the one that I was hoping for, that they would nail. I really wanted them to nail this Fantastic Four movie. And then once you heard Galactus was going to be in it, and that, the hype level went up. And I'm like, you have to execute this. If this is not good at all, the Fantastic Four is dead. It's dead and buried. Like, I don't think anyone cares. After coming out of this movie and watching it, we have finally got a great Fantastic Four movie. I know, I never thought I would say those words. We finally have a great Fantastic Four movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie so much. I think they just nailed and executed this movie on every level. And, they made some bold choices with this movie. Then I was sitting there like, okay, not having Doctor Doom as the villain and not having Doom in it, that is a bold move because we all associate Doctor Doom with the Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, Sue Storm, the connection they have with Victor. That's a bold move. Then throwing in Galactus, a villain that we all want to see as an Avenger level threat, someone that devours planets. That's a bold move because if you get that wrong, then it falls flat. But they did. They nailed it. And obviously this is a Fantastic Four that is in a different Earth and a different universe to the one that we have in the MCU that we follow. So there's no tie-ins to any of the other ones. Now, what they nailed, Galactus. They nailed Galactus. Galactus looked so good. He looked impressive. He looked ferocious. He looked villainous. He looked like a giant threat. The actual design of him is so brilliant. They went down the comic book accurate route and it looked perfect. That's Galactus instantly by the look. The helmet is Galactus. They do such a great job. The casting for Galactus is brilliant. The voice is so good. It is menacing. It is deep. It is godly like. And you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, this guy's a threat. Now, obviously, the way that you have a character like Galactus, you can't just have him be, defeated like Kang was in Ant-Man, for instance. Because, Kang was supposed to be this big bad. But, everyone's like, it kind of looks weak. They did not make Galactus look weak at all in this movie. They did not have Galactus feel like, oh, yeah, he's not a bad villain. Like, they're not going to need the Avengers. No, they are. They're going to need more than just the Fantastic Four to beat Galactus. And I like that aspect about it. So they did that justice. As for the Fantastic Four themselves, I really enjoyed the casting. I did. I know some people had said it was a bit bland, boring, but it worked. It really, really worked. I thought the chemistry between all of them was great. Ben Grimm was fantastic. And, they play on it, on that. You can see throughout the film that Ben is feeling that internal struggle that he has. Because obviously he's the one that has had the biggest change out of all of them. Because physically he looks very different to everyone else. And, we know that has been a theme with the Thing is the physical aspect. Like, do people find him attractive? Does he fit in? Does he not? I thought they did little glimpses throughout this film to showcase you that he is still eternally struggling with that. But I really like that it wasn't like the main focal point, but there's enough there to be like, okay, this could be later on in the future something that could be playing a part. Johnny Storm, Joseph Quinn is fantastic as Johnny Storm. I mean, I loved that casting when that happened. I was like, yes, I can see that. Because I think Joseph Quinn is fantastic, and he's only going to get better and better. But him as Johnny Storm was fantastic. And, he brings that Johnny Storm energy where you're like, yeah, he feels like that playboy kid that we all know and love. But at the same time, when he's serious, he needs to be, it's perfect. And I thought he did a fantastic job. And his comedic timing was great as well. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm was fantastic as well. She really stood out in this movie. She was great in the role. And I really bought into her. And Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, I thought, look, not many people were happy with that casting, but he does feel like Reed Richards. And I think the way that they went into his character in here and the idea of him knowing everything, and once he doesn't know everything, it starts to play in his anxiety levels start to go through the roof. He starts to be like, I don't know. I don't have the answer. Like, what happens to the smartest man on the planet when he finds something that he doesn't understand and doesn't know how to comprehend and have the knowledge on? Like, what happens to that person? They start to become feeling useless. They start to become feeling like, oh, I thought I knew everything. Now I don't. Like, what do I do now? How do I problem solve this? And I really, really like that. But as a collective unit, I thought they were fantastic. Now, I'm so glad they didn't give us the whole full origin story. They do a very quick thing at the start where they give you the origin and the backstory to what happened and stuff like that, but they don't actually showcase you the whole thing because we don't need it. We know how the Fantastic Four came about, so that was fine. I'm glad they didn't go down that route because that would have just added so much time. The visuals were fantastic. I mean, there's Silver Surfer. Woo! People who said Silver Surfer looked horrible because of a still image that they grabbed freaking on their potato phones. I'm sorry. Visually, Silver Surfer looked fantastic. She looked great. And her backstory and everything, they dive into her as a character. And it was fantastic. But, man, she looked great. Johnny Storm, when he goes flame on and becomes the Human Torch, it looked incredible. I thought that was fantastic. The visuals of... There's this one particular visual that happens with a neutron star thingy, black hole. Oh my word, was it spectacular. It looked gorgeous. I was sitting there, fantastic. And there's this moment with lava, Silver Surfer, and Human Torch. Oh, that whole sequence there. Oh, that was money. The score was fantastic. It elevated every scene. The aestheticness of this world, it's so good because it feels retro. It feels like we're transported back into the 80s, except not at the same time. And you will see people say that this is like the Jetsons. You remember that cartoon show? It has that vibe as well. It's like it's like the future, but also the past mixed together to create this world that feels very different from the MCU Earth that we're used to, but in such a great way. I don't know, it just really, really worked. And then obviously the big thing, there is a big plot point revolving around a character in this movie that is going to tie into a lot of things. And if people who have read the comics are going to know about that. And I'm excited to see what they do with this character and how this is all going to unfold. I like that. There's also some brilliant references from fantastic hardcore fans with characters that, villains and stuff like that are in here that they talk about and stuff that make appearances that I think you're all going to love as well. So if you're into that, you're going to love that. And I thought that it's just the way they brought this to the screen. It's just fantastic. It really is. And that's no pun intended. It just is fantastic. Now, there is 2 post-credit scenes. The first one is definitely the one that everyone's going to be like, oh, let's go. That's the one. The second one is going to be more for the hardcore Fantastic Four fans. That one is going to be for you guys. You're going to get a lot more out of it than just the general audience who don't know about the stuff with the Fantastic Four. So there is that. But overall, I love this movie. I thought this was great. And we finally got a great Fantastic Four movie. I'm so pumped about it. I'm excited to see how this is all going to tie in and how everything's going to work now. Let me know what you guys thought. If you have seen Fantastic Four, I want to hear your thoughts. Maybe you didn't like it, but that's okay. If you didn't, then that's fine. But smash your comments down in the comment section. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.